Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Piqued, a meetup for electronic music makers. I am your host, Corey Luna. On AV is Rich Hogben, and tonight we are going north of the border. Our performers tonight are both in Canada, surprisingly. And it's a fun little thing. So we've got for you tonight, we've got, excuse me, I have to look up his name. I apologize. 6502 going first, and then afterwards we will have Forestine. And before we go into performances, we're going to have a guided tour by our friends at Mission Synths. Rich, please.
We have a large assortment of desktop devices, modular devices, MIDI controllers, audio interfaces, and other hardware. We have a large selection of cables, a vast library of Eurorack modules, we do have some vintage things in the back as well. Record collection, the listening section. We also have 2 tables in the center of the shop, which are fully syncable and together go into the house system. We have some reading material as well. When you come and visit, make sure you say hi to our manager, Ringo. Thank you. When you come and visit, make sure you say hi.
Hello. Thanks for having us on the show. This is Brian and Betsy. We're from Mission Synths. We'll give you a brief history of the shop. We've been collecting synths and hardware for many years, and we were shipping and delivering gear through our website for quite some time before we found our current location in the Mission, where we opened mid-December of 2020. Since we've gotten our retail shop, we've grown to carry much more than just hardware, stocking records like you saw in the video, books, for example. Our shop is located on 24th Street and Harrison in the Mission District in San Francisco. As you saw in the video, we sell all kinds of hardware, drum machines, controllers, interfaces, audio interfaces, even speakers. We created this space because we wanted to have an inviting space for musicians and creators that's both inviting and so that people can actually play the gear, get their hands on it, experiment with it. So we invite you to come in or to contact us. Our shop hours are Monday, Wednesday, Thursday from 4 to 7, and Saturday and Sunday from 1 to 5. Again, thanks for having us on this show. We will be back for the question and answer after the performers, and we hope you enjoy the show.
We also hope to host events and other things in the future when things kind of open up a bit more and we're able to have that and use this space as we wanted to. So please connect with us on social media accounts.
Thank you, Mission Sense. Brian and Betsy, it's really wonderful to have you both on here. And I believe, do you have a event coming up soon?
Yes, we will be hosting our first kind of official event, which is going to be a pop-up this Sunday. It'll be from 1 to 5. Our friend Rubidium has a new label she just started called Vexsphere, and she will be releasing her zine, which features 12 original techno tracks from North American artists, as well as a published zine, which will feature Mission Sense with some art and poetry as well by local artists, and I believe a sticker pack. So we'll have that in the shop from 1 to 5 on Sunday, and that's also available for sale on Bandcamp, but we'll be having it here in the shop, and we're excited about it.
I'm excited as well because I'm going to show up.
Awesome.
And anyone else in the Bay Area, and there's a lot of us here watching tonight that are in the Bay Area that might show up.
Cool. We can't wait to see you guys.
Excellent. Thanks so much, and we'll talk to you guys after the show, after the performances. We'll see you during the interview section. And now let's go on into our performances tonight, starting with 6502 and then into Forestine. And we'll see you afterwards.
Feel and fly up in the sky. Don't know why. All around. Back on ground. Rhythmic sounds. Feel the flow. Play the show. Go and do. Beat keeps rolling. Love keeps flowing. All the morning. Electric you. You move. You move wide. You can fly. In the sky. Let's all computer. Stories. Trasformito. Divide it. Multiply it. Translated. Jump Piqued. Feel the flow. Enjoy this show. Piqued. Piqued down.
Kids are shocking. They don't care. They have the air. Find your way. You can stay. Let's see. Be free. All for you. All for all. All to see.
Ixon.
It's here. It's there.
Ixon.
Here as nobody knows. It's in. It's out. It's all about.
Ixon.
It's up. It's down. It's all around. Up in the sky. In my eye. All around.
Ixon.
Back on ground. Come on up.
Ixon.
Make that sound.
Ixon.
Back to It's here. It's there.
Coming up on pitch over, see. E64, okay? Van LPD. LPD. Coming right. 40. 5,000 feet. 39. 39. 38. 39. 4,000 feet. 40. 41. 45. 47. 52. 3,000 feet. 52. 52.
Translated.
51. 50. 47. 47. 2,000 feet. 42. Okay, gonna get
Ixon.
42. 43. 300 feet. 44. 45. Glad you go planning. 44. 45.
Piqued.
900. 45. 800. 45. 700. 46. 600. 48. 500. 49. Minus 17. Minus 15. 400 and minus 14. P66. Okay. 300 feet. Minus 11. Minus 11. 250. Minus 11.
Ixon.
9% fuel. 200. Minus
Piqued
11.
down.
150. Minus 7. Minus 6. 120 feet. Minus 6. Okay, good stuff. Minus 5. 100 feet is
You
5.
fly. You can
9%
fly.
fuel. Minus 5. 80 is 5. Minus 3. 60 is 3. 50 is 3. Cross pointers look good. 40 is 3. 30, 3. 25, 2. 7% fuel. 20 is 1. 15 is 1. Minus 1. Minus 1. 6% fuel. 10 feet, minus 1. 8 feet, minus 1. Contact. Okay, Houston, the Falcon is on the plane at Hadley. Roger, Roger, Falcon.
Saturday night. Saturday night. All right. Danse. Romance. Chance. Move. Groove. Friends. Feel the beat. Sweat to the beat. Bass is a pumping. The kid are a jumping. Friends all night. White noise. Pink noise. Brown noise. All the noise. Dawn on the street. With the beat. In the heat. It all feel good. Like it should. You knew it would. You knew it could. Like it should. Make it pay. Come to play. All day. In the sky, in the eye, brun it down, make that sound, bass is a pumping, the kid are a jumping, friends all night, feeling right.
Saturday night. Saturday night. All right. Saturday night. Dance. Romans. Chans. Move. Groove. Friends. Basslo. Bassbris. Bassmovas. Feel the beat. Sweat to the heat. Bass is a pumping. The kids are a jumping. Friends all night. Feeling right. Take a drink. Make a drink. White noise, pink noise, brown noise, all the noise. You know, we know. Move it up, move it down, shake it around, walk the road. Down on the street, with the beat, in the heat, it all feels good, like it should. You knew it well, you knew it cold, like it should. Saturday night. Find the vibe. Market play. Come to play. all day. In the sheet, in the high, bring it down. Maketett sammen. Bass i saltpumpe. The kids are a jungle. Friends all night. Feeling right.
Let's feel free. Let it all be. And feel the beat. Down on the street. I saw you. You saw me, just free. Take the chance. I feel free. You and me.
It's here.
It's here.
It's there. It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. Come on, dance. Take that chance. Love romance.
Kids are popping.
Kids are rocking. Kids are shopping. They don't care. They have the air.
Find your way. You can stay.
Let it go.
Let's see.
Feel the show.
Be free.
Just be free.
All for you.
You and me.
All for me. All to see. Be free.
It's here. It's there. It's pretty much everywhere.
Can't you see? It's all for free. Just you and me. Come and see.
Far and away. It's all play.
We can dance. Take the chance. I feel free. You and me. It's here.
It's there. It's everywhere.
Come on, dance. Take that chance. Love romance. Who will fly? Who will cry? Let it go. Feel the show. Just be free. You and me. Far and away.
For you and me.
It's all play. For you and me. All to see. Come on, let's dance. Take that chance. Let's feel free. Let it
chance.
We feel the beat. Down on the street. Bass breeze. Ice cold freeze. Kids are rocking. Kids are shocking. They don't care. They have the air.
Find your way. You can stay.
Let's see.
Be free.
All for you. All for me. All to see. Be free. It's here.
It's there. It's pretty much everywhere.
Can't you see it? It's all for free. Just you and me. day, all
Let's
day.
see, let's see.
Smile your way. Can't you see?
Just you and me.
It all just came to me.
Just you,
For
just you.
us to be. It's all I see.
It's pretty much everywhere. Be free, free. You can stay. Come on, see. Smile your way. Smile your way. Smile your way. Smile your way. You can stay. It's all I see. It all just came to me. Stay all day. All for you. For us to be. All for me.
Can't you see?
It all for free.
Just you and me. Come and see.
Let's be.
Find your way.
Let us
Stay all day. Smile your way. Can't you see? It all just came to me.
For us to be. It's all I see.
Let's feel free. Let us all be. We feel the beat. Down the street. Bass breeze. Ice cold breeze. Kids are rocking. Kids are shocking.
That was a wonderful set, Andrew. Thank you so much.
All right,
Everyone, please give a digital, congratulations and fantastic show for 6502.
right. Thank you.
Yeah. And Andrew, am I saying that right? Or is your artist name 6502?
That's right. That's 6502. Yes, correct.
Excellent. I'm going to ask you more about that later on after Forestine's show. And Forestine, are you ready to perform? Okay, she gave us a thumbs up. So, Rich, when you're ready, let's go into Forestine, everybody. Forestine, everyone. How wonderful was that? So now we're going to be moving into the interview section. And Forestine, are you on mic now?
Yes.
All right. Great. And Andrew, we've got you on mic.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes. And Brian and Betsy, you guys are at home on the mic now?
Yes.
I don't know. Hello.
Excellent. I can hear everybody. Great. Thanks again, everyone, for coming out and playing Piqued 21 on April 21st. It was a wonderful show. Wow. I'm really excited about these performances. These were really fun. And now we're going to take some questions from the audience. I've got some questions as well. And we're going to go back and forth. And if you guys want to talk if you guys have questions you want to ask each other, please go ahead and override me. That's okay. That's fine. If you guys got questions too, I'd love to hear them. And how is everyone doing tonight? Tell me, how are you guys doing up in Canada right now?
Go ahead, Lindsay.
Waiting to get a vaccine. So nothing too exciting.
I've been hearing
Yeah,
that. Go ahead, Andrew.
Oh yeah, doing good. Just hiding in my basement making music.
It's a good place to be. Yeah, another friend of mine up in Canada, also in Vancouver, mentioned that they're waiting to get vaccines up there. Hasn't been really readily available yet.
That's right.
Well, hopefully that happens really soon, as I know a lot of my friends out here in the Bay Area and throughout the United States have gotten it quite quickly. Most of us have. But besides that, I want to say that I really appreciate you both coming out and playing Piqued tonight. Andrew, thanks again for contacting me to play Piqued. I really appreciate when people will go out of their way to ask to be on the show. It's rare, and I'm glad it happens sometimes. It's because sometimes I try to put myself out to listen to everybody who's out there, and Instagram is usually my place to go to find new people and explore what's out there in terms of what's going on in music. Because there's always a lot of variety going on out there, and I don't hear everything. And I'm really glad that you reached out to me, because I hadn't heard your work yet, and I'm really happy that I know who you are now, because I love the music you're producing.
That's great. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And thank you for obviously being so generous and warm and just very quickly saying absolutely you can play. So really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. And Lindsay, I want to say thank you again for playing tonight. I know I just started. I heard of your music over the past couple of months before I asked you to be on the show, and I know you really didn't know who I was when I asked you, but I'm really glad that you said yes, because I really enjoyed the performance tonight, and we've got a lot of people who had a great response to what you performed tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me. That was fun.
And I know you had a couple of issues with your setup, and I think it came out really well.
Thanks.
I'm really excited about it.
It's a completely different set than I had been planning on doing a couple of days ago. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with it in the circumstances.
And Brian and Betsy, thanks again for coming back. I know you guys had to run from the shop to home, and again, thanks again for doing the little video you did for us for the tour of Mission Synths over in San Francisco, and we're all looking forward to getting down there and checking out the shop. I know that some of my friends have actually made it to the shop already, and I haven't been down there myself because I just don't live near the Mission and I don't go out there too often, but I'm going to make that trek out on Sunday to go see the shop with you guys.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah, there's no synth shop here at all. I'm like equidistantly as far away as you can possibly be from every synth shop in Canada.
So,
It looks
Lindsay,
very nice. It's like, oh wow, a store.
Lindsay, are you mailing away for most of the modules you have?
Yeah, and I try not to order from the States because the duty is really bad. So, but often if you try to order from, often like it's above the exchange rate. It's really weird. Anyway.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that, but understandably, that makes sense. Are there any? What are some of the synth modular companies in Canada that you know that you could enlighten us about?
Like stores or companies?
Just stores. If you don't know of any particular creators.
I usually order from Nightlife, which is in Vancouver, and Moog and Technosynth, which are in Montreal.
Okay.
So,
great.
But IntelliGel is in Vancouver too.
Yeah.
And North Coast is in not Vancouver. I can't remember where.
Okay, I actually didn't know that IntelliGel was up there. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
That's really wonderful. I'm glad to hear that. Now, I'm going to ask you guys a couple of questions. I'd like to start off with, how did you guys prepare for your performances tonight? And Andrew, tell me about how you prepared your performance tonight. You made a video, which was really wonderful.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So yeah, I had some tracks. Obviously, we make tracks all the time. So I just basically picked 4 tracks, created some videos, did the backgrounds. First of all, I'll start with the backgrounds, kind of do the backgrounds, and I do some post effects on them on my phone. And then most recently, I've got into using Adobe Premiere, which is actually pretty good, right? So basically doing a lot of compositing of like replaying the synths, close-ups of the synths, etc. And maybe some extra kind of footage over the top, then kind of blend them together with maybe some, operators like divides and additions, subtractions, to get those really kind of interesting effects. And yeah, and basically that's how we did it, and rendered it out and Google Drived it to you guys.
And Lindsay, what was your process when I first asked you to perform for Piqued?
Well, I was just gonna try to start with like something that I'm gonna build everything else around. So it'll be like a weird noise or just something that I think is cool. And then I build stuff around that. This time I had a technical issue with one of my modules, and so I had patched most of this set. And then when I took out the module that didn't work, I only had a whooshing noise and a kick drum. So I actually went on video chat with a friend who like walked me through fixing my patch until I was happy again about it, because I was just like so bummed. And then I went like from there and tried to make it sound like me again. So that was really not my typical process, I would say. It's just like, oh, the whole set's gone. So
yeah, I would be frightened myself. No, thank you. And I was also curious to know about what music inspires you. What has inspired you over the years to create music, and what inspires your sound, Andrew?
That's a really good question. Let's see. I guess most recently my brother turned me on to a New York producer from the 80s called Bobby O. Did a lot of high energy music and kind of a lot of high energy music. He made his own tracks, but he did like early Divine kind of music, which is heavy arpeggiation, with a lot of really heavy unison and arpeggiation and quite simple drums. I've been listening to a lot of that lately, which I really, really enjoy. I also really like Sonic Boom. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with Sonic Boom, but he was part of a band from England, actually, called Spacemen 3, kind of a psychedelic guitar band. He basically moved on to like do synthesizers and electronic music. His latest album is like amazing. I recommend you go check that out. I also listen to a lot of that. And, obviously some craft work and so forth. So really, I think most recently I've kind of been listening to a lot of Bobby O, kind of making tracks like that, like basically laying down a basic beat, a lot of arpeggiation, doing a lot of filtering, a lot of sweeps, kind of bringing in drums here and there, and just kind of shaping the sound and the overall flow of the music. And then that's kind of the basic approach that I do. And yeah, that's my inspiration, those guys. How about you, Lindsay?
I listen to so many kinds of music and none of them sound like what I make, really. Like, I listen to a lot of punk. I really like folk music. I listen to like Pete Seeger a lot. I listen to very little electronic music, but I really like Devo. So I'm always like imposter syndroming in these conversations, but like, yeah, like, and like I have a hard time telling like what exactly do I want this to sound like? Does it sound like any of these things that I like? I'm not sure. And lately I've been making modular tom waits by accident a lot, so
that's cool. One other inspiration I just want to add, there's this a drone metal guitar band from Seattle called Earth. It's very kind of like drone kind of music, kind of like Suno. Earth are a little bit more melodic, but they're in that kind of vein. They do a lot of drones things, so I take a lot of inspiration from that, actually, kind of like, slow harmonic LFO sweeps all like kind of resonating together and kind of bringing down the tempo a bit. Yeah.
Excellent. And I'd actually like to ask Brian and Betsy about your shop and what inspired you to start a shop. And then I'd also like to know about what inspired you to also open up a brick and mortar.
Well, I mean, honestly, I guess, first of all, kind of boredom, for one.
Yeah, it was a lot of talk during solo nights. Well, just us two during shelter in place and, late nights. And then we started the online shop and then
gear started to pile up around the house.
Yeah. And then luckily, rents in San Francisco have gone down for like the first time in who knows how long. So we started poking around and we just fell in love with that spot. And so we just kind of jumped on it and we were really happy to get it.
Very cool.
Yeah, it was kind of one of those things where like, let's just do it. And as next thing you know, we had a shop. We were just doing it. And like, so it's been kind of good opening up during shelter in place because we probably were like a little slower at first, the people not really leaving their house. So we got to kind of just like fine tune some things as how to run the shop or move things around a couple times. Well, actually a lot of times. So almost like it kind of looks a little different every month, aside from a few key pieces.
And how long did it take from concept to the actual business?
We were selling online for a little bit, like eBay and whatnot, and then it kind of turned into like a website idea, and then we thought of the name, and we went for we bought the domain, and
like from the website opening to the actual physical store, I think it was about like
it was like 3 or 4 months.
3 months.
That's pretty quick.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Very cool. And I was curious, so do you two live in the Mission?
We live on Mission Street, yeah. So we live in the Mission.
Oh, okay.
Well, like Mission Bernal area. So we live fairly close to the shop. Walkable. Okay. It's a nice walk.
That makes sense to have your shop in close proximity to where you live. That's a good idea.
It's been convenient.
Very good. Thank you. And I'm really looking forward to going down to the shop. It's always really wonderful to see a new store that's primarily doing synthesizers. With the exception of Robot Speak, you're probably the second shop to prioritize on selling synthesizers in San Francisco.
Yeah, that's right. We really wanted a space that was open and inviting feeling. We wanted folks to be able to play the gear and to really experiment, to encourage them to plug anything in. So we kind of went for a very open floor plan and a very welcoming environment. At least that's what we hope comes across.
I think the mission's a good location for those goals.
Yeah, we have the little corner that we're in is really great. Like we're right across from some amazing tacos, so Mission Skateboards right across the street. There's a couple of really awesome like independent like art little stores. Evolved SF is great. So it's Praxis, Alley Cat Books is right there, and they're amazing in there too with shows. So just like right there is just a lot of really inspiring things going on. It's very colorful.
Yeah, the mission is full of a variety of different types of stores. So I think you guys fit in that area really well.
Thanks.
And I think the mission was needed a synth shop.
Well, we thought so too.
Very cool. That's really great. Now I've got some questions for our artists. And Andrew and Lindsay, I'd like to know about your artist names. Where does 6502 come from, and where does Forestine come from? Lindsay, how about you take that one?
I was volunteering at a place processing donation checks, and there was one from a really old lady who was like 100 years old, whose name was Forestine. And I have been using that as my username for like 15 years. Like, it's my adopted old lady name. Like, I tell people I'm secretly 85. So I just like kind of in the last couple of years started getting into synths and started performing this year. So I was like, well, sure, that'll work. It's just kind of how it went. But it just like feels like it suits me and is comfortable. So
I think it's a wonderful name. I actually looked it up on the definition for it because I was curious. It definitely got me thinking. I think it's good choice. And I like that you were inspired by as it's your adopted old lady name. That's wonderful.
I like old lady names a lot.
And Andrew, tell me about 6502. I'm sorry, 5602.
That's okay. Yeah.
Sorry about
6502. Yeah, 6502 is a famous microprocessor from the late 1980s. Actually, I believe from San Francisco, actually.
Really?
It was in a lot of home computers in the late 80s, early 90s, like the Commodore 64, the Ataris, the Apples. But it was also in a lot of the early arcade video games as a microprocessor. Why I picked that? That's a really good question. So as I started playing music and my friends were encouraging me to go play live, I was like, okay, I better find a name. I didn't, what should I call myself? I don't know, like Mountain Space Wizard. I don't know, Mountain Thunder. Who knows? I don't know. Couldn't think of anything. But then I kind of dug out one of my old books and found this microchip. Yeah, 6502. I'm like, okay, perfect, 6502. I like it. The reason why I did pick that is I used to do a lot of programming, like on the Commodore 64 and a lot of those things when I was a kid. So I actually learned how to program like 6502 assembly language, like machine code. So I actually did a lot of that for a long time. So it's kind of like imprinted on my brain how to program in 6502. So I know the machine language in my head. So I was like, okay, perfect, 6502. I'll pick this. It's personal to me. I'll do it. Yeah.
That's really cool. What a great backstory. That's really great.
Sounds better than Mountain Space Wizard.
Well,
nothing sounds better than Mountain Space Wizard.
Maybe that'll be my next band.
I mean I think that would have been a very appropriate name if you were starting out in the 60s. And also tell us about your gear setups tonight. I know you both had very different setups tonight. And Forestine, tell us about the setup you have tonight.
So my setup is mostly modular. I have a Moog grandmother, and I have 2 Eurorack racks, and a Moog workstat, and then my pads were a Roland Juno Alpha 2 that I'm borrowing from somebody. And yeah, so.
Excellent.
I don't know if you have any specific module questions. I'm not sure what to offer, so.
Well, what how were you using them tonight with the setup you actually performed tonight?
So my main sequence was 2 sequences out of the mimetic digitalis, which is like a step sequencer. And I had envelope CV going into the sequencer, so it kept mangling everything. And I put that through the Ikari, which is a stereo filter that can do some weird screaming and stuff. And yeah, and I had the Moog doing the low bass, and the local florist doing that kind of twangy thing. I like, yeah.
I'm still
understandable words for sounds.
I'm sure.
Like, this is the clangy thing. This is the whooshy thing.
I'm so excited you got the local florist. That's such a cool module.
I love it so much. I use it all the time. I had to pay currency conversion and duty, so I had better like it.
I'm sorry that you have to deal with that, but I'm glad you're enjoying it. It sounds like it was worth it.
Yeah, it's super fun. I did a set for New York Modular Society for April Fool's Day, where I put my vocals through it, which was quite fun.
That's awesome. Would that be considered vocoding, or what do you think?
No, it's more of a chorusy haunted drainage culvert thing.
Fun. I'll have to look that up now. I want to hear it. Very cool. And Andrew, tell us about your setup tonight as well. I'd love to know more about how you were creating that set tonight.
Yeah, sounds good. So yeah, predominantly I'm using Roland Boutique series modules. They're probably everyone knows about them, but they are the kind of the modern reimagination of the classic modules and synthesizers and drum machines. So in this case, kind of got the Roland SH101, which is the SH01A, which is an amazing synthesizer, excellent reproduction. The Roland CR09, which is basically the 909, and this one, which is one of my favorites, the remake of the Jupiter 8. That's pretty much it, you know. And this black boy, the classic CB303 for the acid house bass unit. So pretty much that is my setup. I do have a few other pieces, like a Behringer Model D. I haven't used too much, but I will do in the future. And for samples, I use the Roland Volca sample. The Korg Volca sample. So yeah, pretty much dominantly Roland Boutique modules.
Very cool. That's a great setup, and I love Roland. I have I've got my SH101 from years ago. I bought it in maybe like 2004. I've got the gray model, and it's one of those synths that monophonic. It's inspired me over the years, and I love using it. It's so fun.
Yeah, they're really amazing.
Yeah, and it's definitely my go-to for filter. It's, the envelope on it is just phenomenal. It just works, and I can't get past it because I've been trying to recreate what I do with that envelope in modular, and it's just not as easy to do. My friend Evan explained it to me of the differences, because I'm not that great with I don't understand the technical side as much as a lot of other people do, but he broke it down to me about how it's basically designed and why I'm not able to recreate it exactly into modular. So I've been working on it, and I picked up a Tone Star recently, and that's been a really fun module to work with. It's a big module, but it's actually its function is really good, and you can basically patch itself into itself, which is pretty awesome. And that's been a fun module to get to know and learn. And I picked that up from my friend Dylan 909, who's also played on Piqued back in 2019 when we first started. And it's a cool module. It's been really, really neat. And I love that you were able to show us all this the boutiques you're playing with. Those are really fun, man.
Yeah, they're really fun.
I borrowed the boutique of the 808 from my friend Lenny Hammaker, and who is also Atto Leon, and that was pretty cool. I actually paired it with my TR-606 drum machine that I have, and that was kind of fun to play around with, and I believe it's been a couple years since I played with it, but I think one of the things that was a little different about it was that it doesn't have a 1/4 inch out jack. It does 1/8 inch jack out instead. So you have to use an adapter to get that out. Is that something that is a standard on the boutiques throughout?
Yeah, the tiny audio outs. I tend to use that obviously when I'm performing live, but recently when I'm using a DAW to capture the stuff, I'm using USB.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That's a good idea. Now we've got an interesting thing going on over here. Lindsay has told me that you are the admin for Earth Modular Society. Is that right?
One of the admins, yeah. And those people all arrived because Hex 7 hosts a show every week called What the Heck, which is every Wednesday. So they couldn't miss that, obviously, which is fine.
Well, it's really wonderful to have you guys on here. Would you like to tell us a little bit more about Earth Modular Society?
Yeah, so we are a completely online modular society. So we only have existed during the pandemic, and we have a 24/7 YouTube and Twitch channel where anybody can stream if they want, as long as there's modular in it. And we've got hundreds and hundreds of sets on our channel, and some of them are amazing. And we have a bunch of people that do regular shows now every week. It's super fun.
Very cool. Thank you for doing that little plug for us. I really appreciate it, and I'll definitely be checking it out myself. And I know many of my friends already are probably on there, and I just haven't.
Yeah, we just passed 500 members. We're gonna do a streaming marathon for 500 when I have the energy to do that.
Yep, I think one of my friends, All Electric Kitchen, is going to be on there.
Yes, he's been on a few of our streams, yeah,
yes.
And he's a regular as well.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's in the Bay Area over here, so he and I used to. I know him through Resonant Frequencies, which is it was a live show, a monthly live show, and now they're doing every quarter. So they just did a show at the beginning of this month, and they did a show in January that I was on for as well. And when we were doing the live shows in Oakland, California, we were always getting together and producing these wonderful shows where we had modular synth players and we had modular video artists doing projections as well. It was really, really fun thing, which we'll eventually get back to. But of course, Resonant Frequencies, I have to thank a lot for getting me inspired back into music. It was a wonderful community that has grown a lot, and a lot of wonderful people have come out of it and started doing their own things. It was pretty amazing. So thank you again for telling us more about Earth Modular Society. I'm really looking forward to checking out some more of the streams on there.
Yeah, we one thing that happens a lot is like people who have never streamed before show up, and so we're kind of like a safe place for people to try stuff. A lot of our streams, you get like 5 people maybe watching, but like it's great. It's really good practice. Like so many of us are way better at this than we were. And it's just like super cozy, like hanging out with your friends.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. That's really great. And speaking of inspirations, Lindsay, you mentioned that you like Tom Waits, and one of the albums I found on Bandcamp a couple of years ago, and it's been out for a couple of years already. There's a British artist by the name of Buddy Peace on Bandcamp, and he did a cover of Tom Waits' Mule Variations from 1999, but he did it in 8-bit. It's called Donkey Kong Variations. And
I hear that immediately.
it's so good. Even the vocals are done in 8-bit. He did a phenomenal job on it.
How did they do What's He Building in there? Which has become a TikTok meme.
I don't know, but I know he took down the tire swing from the pepper tree. But I'll send you a link because it's a really fun album. I really enjoyed it a lot. And
That sounds really good.
Buddy Peace does a lot of different work. I think that was a particular niche thing he did, besides the variety of music he produces. And speaking of influences, I would like to know about your musical influences besides Tom Waits. So, Lindsay, tell me about some of the other music that you listen to. I know you've mentioned some of the other different styles that are not really something that are not.
I
music, like Devo.
Everything I like is like that. It's everywhere, like all over the place. I make a lot of playlists, and they'll have like Husker Du and Dolly Parton and like something in French and like it's like I feel like either you get into synths and you really like electronic techno-y music, or you like Nine Inch Nails, so I'm in like the Nine Inch Nails camp probably, but
yeah, I feel on that. And
yeah, it's like what have I been listening to lately? Like Elvis Costello every time I fold my laundry lately. I really like some like early synth stuff. Like I really like Yellow Magic Orchestra. It's very good for doing dishes. And I like Mort Garson a lot, especially Plantasia. I have a lot of plants, although none of them are ever in my streams because I don't have any windows in this area. But yeah.
And Andrew, same question. What kind of music that are you listening to?
Yeah, I listen Lindsay. I listen to a lot of different kind of music. Let's see what I've been listening to lately. Kurt Weill, Sharon Von Etten. I actually digged up an old Beatles album I've been really enjoying, Let It Be. I like a lot of Spaceman 3, Sonic Boom I've been listening to a lot lately. What else? Actually, I've been listening to a lot of old school electro music, actually, recently, kind of going back to like the late 80s. Kind of listening to that. A lot of that music is actually made on a lot of old Roland gear, like SH-101, 808s, and so forth. So I've been listening to a lot of that, kind of picking out some inspiration. I mentioned kind of like Bobby O, the music producer, earlier. I've been listening to a lot of that. Earth is a band that I get a lot of inspiration from as well. They're a metal band, as I mentioned earlier, from Seattle. Yeah, we play a lot of music in the house. My daughter plays piano. She's really good, actually, a lot better than me. So I've been listening to a lot of her stuff like that.
It's nice.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I like, obviously, like Kraftwerk, I like New Order. I like a lot of acid house that was in the 80s. I actually, when I was a kid, I grew up in Manchester, England, before moving to North America. So I was back then. There was a lot of like electronic music going around then in the late 80s. So
Sure.
yeah, so like obviously we knew all the Joy Divisions from Manchester. So Joy Division, a lot knew a lot of electronic music there. I think there was a lot of like American music being played at that time, kind of like Chicago garage house, which transformed into more kind of quite interesting. How do I put it? Into more electronic style. We got a lot of early techno from Detroit that we used to listen to, and then acid house, which came from Detroit and that area. It kind of really blew up massive in England and Manchester specifically. Really resonated, and it turned into quite the electronic music hub in the late 80s, and early 90s. A lot of great music going on, a lot of acid house, a lot of electro, a lot of Balearic beats, with that kind of music that came from America, from Chicago, Detroit, fused with English music, and a lot of inspiration from Spain, like Ibiza, Spain. A lot of people went on the holidays for the holidays to Spain. They came back, they had all these kind of like beats. So that became a really big part of Manchester music. So I've been listening to a lot of that lately, kind of going back, checking it out, and really enjoying that. So that is a bit of inspiration, yes. Also.
Oh, I would say I think my favorite band is probably Idols right now, which is like I always listen to music and I'm like, nothing has any reason to be longer than 2 minutes long, but then I make things that are like 20 minutes long.
That tends to
I
happen.
haven't read those. I have to check them out.
They're like they're kind of like punk, but they sing about like toxic masculinity and stuff. They're really fun.
Where are they from?
They're from the UK.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
Check them out.
And I'd like to ask Betsy and Brian, what kind of music are you guys listening to lately?
Well, gosh, at home we don't listen to music that I don't listen to music that much. She listens to a lot of music at home.
I mean, I listen to a lot of different kinds of dance music. I listen to a lot of techno. I do love my house music. I have been listening to a lot of older stuff lately. I love drum and bass. I do love electro. I love acid house. So mostly that kind of stuff. Probably some others I'm forgetting about. Some really bad about those kind of questions about I'm listening to. But yeah, I have been listening to I've even been listening to some like old trance lately too. I started going to raves in like the 90s, and that's just like been some of the old stuff just like really like has my heart. But I definitely been listening to some newer stuff too. So kind of all over the place a bit.
Yeah, we also we just got a load of records in, so really we've been listening to those.
Yeah,
at least I have, like in the shop a lot. There's a lot. We got a huge shipment from Complete USA, so there's like tons and tons of hard techno and acid. And we also just got a bunch of ambient stuff in, which is really great. So that's kind of, I don't know, lots of artists that we could quote there, but there you have it.
I was curious about the music you guys are selling in the shop. Are you guys getting it like solely from distributors, or are you also going to be carrying like independent artists if they just ask if they could sell their CD through your shop? Yeah,
exactly. We would like to welcome folks to bring that to our attention. If you guys have music to sell, we would like to stock it. Just contact us on the side. We'd love to talk to you.
Yes, we're doing both. We have like some big distributors, and we also have some independent people, like a lot of local stuff in there too, which is awesome.
Excellent. Well, that's really exciting. I know a lot of my friends have produced some great music over the couple of years I've known them, and some of us have produced cassette tapes, CDs, and a few vinyls here and there.
Awesome.
Yeah, we would love to stock it.
Excellent. That's really great to hear. We appreciate it. And the other thing I was wanting to know a little bit more about was I wanted to know more about your fuzzy little manager. Tell me about your dog.
Well, what he says goes.
Yeah, he comes to the shop most every day we're open. He's 13 and a half. His name is Ringo. I've had him since he was like 9 weeks old. And he loves being around people. However, if you come say hi to him at the shop, he can smell you. Just don't try to pet him because he might snap. But yeah, he's a great little buddy. He's here sleeping with us right here behind us. He's a good shop dog. He started getting kind of brave and just wandering out of the shop to go pee, and then he'll kind of come back in. But
yeah, it's a thing now.
It's a good thing now.
There might be some people playing modulars, and all of a sudden we have to run outside, and grab the Chihuahua.
Yeah,
that's really cute. My brother, who I live nearby, he lives in the apartment above me. He's got a 12-year-old Chihuahua Dachshund mix named Miho, and
Miho.
Yeah, and he's been having some health issues lately, and I take care of him on like 5 nights a week or 4 nights a week. So I have to make sure he gets his pills once, every like 4 nights a week, and take him outside and make sure he's well taken care of.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Absolutely. So, yeah, it's always good to have fuzzy managers. Those are very good companions. And I'd also like to know more about from all of you. Where can we find you on social media? And Betsy and Brian, please tell me where can we find you on social media, and also tell us about your website.
Well, we're at Mission Sense, one word, on all social platforms. Well, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
Not one word.
Well, at Mission Sense.
Yeah.
Mission
Sense. It's pretty easy. If you we have links everywhere. So yeah, Googling it is pretty good. And then I think we're most active on Instagram. That's my favorite. And then of course it links to Facebook and everything else, and our website. I'll talk about the website.
We just recently reskinned it and relaunched the website because had a lot of feedback about the old one, and quite frankly, we painted ourselves into a corner with the way we built it. So we built it from the ground up about 3 weeks ago or a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been actually quite successful. There's just been, a lot of people much more happy about the way that the experience is. In any case, yeah, we keep that up to date every day. So, yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. And Lindsay, please tell us, where can we find Forestine online?
I'm Forestine on Instagram, and I made a link tree. But I have I'm also on SoundCloud, and I have just mostly a playlist of all of my sets, mostly on EMS and NIMS, under my YouTube account, which is also in the link tree. Yeah.
And I would actually like to mention your SoundCloud, because I was listening to your SoundCloud this evening, and you've got a lovely variety of different melodies on your SoundCloud account.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm super not precious about my SoundCloud. I just use it to keep track of stuff, and I'll be like, oh, that's fine. So there's a lot of different stuff on there. It's I'm going to try this. Yeah.
That's a good place for it. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I did enjoy it. I was laying down for a little bit before the show started, and that was good music to lay down to.
Oh, good.
And Andrew, tell us where we can find 6502 online more.
Just Instagram right now.
Okay.
Yep.
Are you, and for both of you, I was curious, are you guys working on an album or any types of releases? Are you guys going to be on any type of compilations anytime soon?
I may make something this year. As far as I got, though.
Andrew, how about yourself?
No, right now I'm just focusing on making tracks and playing at shows. So I'll probably do that for a little while, and then when I get enough material, maybe I'll put it together. If anyone wants to feature me on an album or a compilation, I'll be down with that.
Cool, man. Yeah, I think I'll got a network of people I'm gonna ask around. I'm sure we'll get you on something.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah, fun stuff. So, guys, I want to say thanks again. This has been a really fun show tonight. There's a lot of great energy going on, different sets going on. It was really great, and I had a wonderful time watching and listening. And so, 6502, wonderful set. Forestine, again, excellent set. You really pulled through. And Mission Synths, you guys, thanks again for coming out and sending us that video file of the little guided tour of the shop. I'm really excited to go check out the shop. And there's a few people online saying, hey, you guys are around some of like the best food around. And yeah, that's true. Mission has like some great variety out there.
Mm-hmm.
I used to go to El Farolito for Mexican food all the time. Their quesadillas, the cheese quesadilla was always excellent. But there's a lot of variety out there. And I want to say thanks just to all of you again for coming out, playing the show. There's been a great community of all of us coming together online over this pandemic, and it's been really wonderful. Again, one of my coworkers and friends, Roberto, I was telling him today at work that we're going to the show tonight, and I mentioned to him that both the performers are in Canada. He says, north of the border? Right on. I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. I should call it that. So I had to make sure to use that, and I want to make sure that I said thank you to Roberto for inspiring that wonderful line. It was really cool, and it's really great to have you guys on the show, and it's amazing that we can do this internationally. Basically, it's something that
it's fantastic.
When we started,
Winnipeg is in the middle of nowhere, so it's been really fun to like do all these lockdown shows.
It's great.
It's been really great, the fact that we've been able to do all these international shows.
Mm-hmm.
Not just Pete, but like everywhere has been doing these wonderful shows where people are all over the place. Like I'm really hoping to get some, go further. I haven't gone beyond, the American continent yet, but I'm hoping to eventually. So we'll see. And even before this, and right before Pete started 2 years ago, there was I was doing a podcast called North Beats, and I had actually made an effort to go out and well, not physically, but I actually reached out to people internationally, and I did calls and video chats and things like that with people. I talked to people in Ecuador, Switzerland, and I try to reach out as much as I can. And thanks again, you guys, for being available to do the show. And we're going across different time zones, one here and there. And again, thanks again for doing that. I know it's a little inconvenient to be up so late. I'm not a late night person anymore. I need my beauty sleep. But it's
I'm 85, so
yes,
yeah,
it's really wonderful. So thanks
again,
guys.
Yeah, thank you. This was a really great experience, and great to meet you all. It was really great. Next time I'm in San Francisco, I'll come visit the store. 100%. It'd be great. Maybe I'll come and say hi to you, Corey. If you're ever in Vancouver, Lindsay.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks a lot. That was really great.
You're welcome. And
thank you.
It's been it's such a pleasure to do the show. And I was curious, are there any other shows that you guys have coming up that you're gonna be on that you would like to plug, other than the Earth Modular Society?
Yeah, I'm playing a show in Seattle think it's May the 5th, around there. It's Seattle Modular. It's called Modular Nights. It's a really, really, really great show. You guys should definitely watch it. There's a lot of great performers on there. Usually lasts around 4 hours. You probably have about 10 people playing. Yeah, so I'll be playing that. So definitely check it out. I think it's May the 5th. It's Saturday night usually. So look it up, Modular Seattle.
I think May 5th is actually a Wednesday. This
It's definitely not May the 5th one.
yeah, Cinco de Mayo is May 5th on Wednesday this year, I'm pretty sure. But I'll check it out. Thank you. Seattle's a wonderful joint. What a great city for modular synthesizers. There's a lot of great people out of there. Just last month, I had Tim Held, who does Positive Modcast, and he's in Seattle, Washington. And
I've heard of him. It's great. Actually, it's June the 5th, not May the 5th.
June 5th. All right.
June 5th, Modular Seattle. It's on Twitch. It's on, it's on Twitch. So,
excellent.
Recommend that.
And Lindsay and Brian, Betsy, are there any other shows you guys have coming up you're going to be a part of, or is there any other shows you would like to mention at all?
There's the ginormous Modular World stream that has like 100 and something people in it, and it's on May 8th. I'm in that. 8 and 9 because it's so long.
Excellent. And so just on my end, there's online, we've got Resonant Frequencies, which is now quarterly. They just did their show this month. They're going to be back in 4 months to do another Resonant Frequencies. There's also Resident, which our friend Frank Martin and a couple other people run. I think Fetz is also one of the people that puts that on. Resident started in San Francisco and back in 2018, and that's been a wonderful show that went from playing at the Laundry in San Francisco to doing a virtual show that we all try to participate in. And I know I've thrown a couple of videos here and there as myself. And we've also got our friend Fetz, who has his show on Twitch, which I think he does Sonic Sundays, which is always a fun show. And our friend Frank Martin also has his own YouTube show where he talks to artists like ourselves, talks to them about what they're doing and has them perform as well on. And he does that on Saturday mornings. Saturday mornings. Frank Martin's YouTube channel. And then we've also got another friend of mine up in Seattle has a show as well. Caleb Duarte has a show he does as well, I believe through YouTube, and streams it through Facebook as well. And he does a show, I think I think it's the first Sunday of the month he does his show. So please check out Caleb Duarte. He's always got some really amazing people out there, and he doesn't do just modular. He does everybody. So there's country people. There's all kinds of variety of music on there, but it's always new. It's always different musicians that he's talking to. And he reaches out a lot and puts himself out there to make sure that there's representation all over the place. It's really great. So
I just wanted to mention Saturday Night Synthesis because Frederick is in the chat, and also Fetz is going to be on it. And it's a great show also.
Yeah. And hey, happy birthday to Fetz. You just had that birthday last week, man. And great show again for Sonic Sundays. That was really fun. Excellent performance and excellent people you had on the show. He's a good guy, and he's in the Bay Area as well. And we haven't seen each other in over a year. I miss seeing you, Fetz. Such a good dude. And if we've got any other shout outs, I'd love to hear it. But if not, then I think it's just after 9 o'clock. And it's probably about 11 p.m. in Winnipeg. So don't want to hold you guys up too much tonight. Because we kind of lost Andrew already. He's already taken off.
Well, he's in Vancouver too. It's not even that late.
Oh, there we are. All right, Andrew, I'm going to say, let's say goodnight, everyone. I really appreciate you all. Again, thank thanks again for coming out and playing Piqued. It's been such a
Yeah.
pleasure to have you
Yeah,
guys.
it was nice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Right,
So
good to meet you all.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Everyone, please stay home and stay safe. Good night.
Good night.
Night.
Good night.